Alright, hey guys, gonna do another one. Um, I'll try to keep them somewhat brief. I am not gonna add spiritual music or fancy effects. I don't care about that. I think the material's good, and if you want to listen, listen. If not, that's fine too. Not gonna trick anybody into listening. So, I want to talk today about acceptance and healing. Um, so, firstly, we're all wounded. There may be some anomalies, but most of us, the vast majority, maybe even all of us are wounded. We're taught that what we are is not good enough. That's just the way society works. You have to look a certain way, you have to act a certain way, you have to be smart enough, you have to be attractive enough, you have to be funny enough, thin enough, and there's different things for men and women and for white people, for black people. There's different things across different cultures, but some things are the same in general. Men have to be strong and tough and not show emotions. We all know this. And women have to be sexy and submissive and whatnot. Okay, so we get all sorts of messages, and from a young age, we're trying to shove this square peg into a round hole, and it ain't working, and we suffer because of it. We really internalize these things, and most of us at age 11, 12, 13, whatever, even younger, maybe, I don't know. I don't like to get into that because I don't know. But most of us at a young age don't have the ability or the awareness to say, well, that's not for me. That doesn't matter. I'm just going to do my own thing. There's been some rare exceptions, I'm sure, but most of us really buy into the game. We can't help it. We're just young children. Everybody around us is doing it, and all the adults are doing it. So the adults are even worse than kids sometimes. So we really internalize these messages, we have a bad time, and we grow up dysfunctional because of that. We learn that what we are is not enough. We're denied love from the society, from our parents, even. Our parents do the best they can, but they're kind of stuck in the same trap in most cases. And worst of all, we're denied love from ourselves. You know, we're constantly doing do better, change, do better, come on. Um, so that's the wound, and we carry a lot of pain around about this. Um, and it affects everything we do. That's why we get into these funks. That's why we're here looking at spirituality. If we were just completely whole and healthy, like, why were we even worried about spirituality? Spirituality is medicine. You can enjoy it. I enjoy talking about it. Some people are like, oh, look, I'm spiritual. I hope that's not me. I don't think it is. But really, what it is medicine at the core. So, um, let's see. So, how do we fix these wounds? Because some people will say, well, I don't care. I just accept whatever I am. And yeah, of course, that's actually what I'm gonna say you need to do. It's like some people will say, I don't care if I'm funky or happy. I don't care either way. And I get it. But obviously, we're doing this for a reason, right? We want to be better off than we were in the past. We want to heal. We're not just doing this just cuz, we want to heal. So it's okay to have preferences. It's okay to want to be happy. It's okay to want to be joyful. It's okay to want to be peaceful. It's okay to want to have a good life. I don't know who's giving these messages. That's not okay, but that's bullshit. You know? Throw that out. You can have preferences. Just realize at the end of the day, it's not always up to you. Okay? These wounds are way beyond us. You can't just say, like, well, I'm gonna just, boom, turn off this wound. It doesn't exist. No, it exists, and it's much bigger than you. It's deep. That's what's scary. It's some in our minds, in our calculating mind, we have everything planned out. We try to control everything, but this wound is just boom. It's so much bigger than that. Um, and it's kind of scary um, to admit that there is something that is so deeply out of our control. Um, that's actually, I think, why we don't want to face it. That's why in the beginning, we're taught do better, do more. Come on, cheer up. We're taught that, but I think we cling to that. I think we cling to that because it lets us avoid just what we are. So the medicine, guys, as far as I can tell, is to just accept whatever you are. Okay, you had a bad day. So, um, okay, you had a bad day. Doesn't mean that you're gonna feel, woo, I had a bad day, it's fine. No, but on a deep level, you're like, well, I had a bad day. Or, you know, you were funky today, you had a lot of anxiety. Well, that's fine. Or maybe you got angry. Okay? Maybe you were sad. Maybe you're lost, confused, whatever. That's fine. So I was talking about preferences. What I wanted to say was, of course we have the preference to be happy, but I did say this, didn't I? But you have to, life has the final word. That's it. So if you're doing your best to heal, to accept yourself, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes this is just bigger than you. You have to do your best to accept that too. But it's just the only effort, quote unquote, effort that needs to be made is the effort to accept yourself more. It's not even really an effort because the effort's kind of a diversion. So it's really just a gradual unfolding of just seeing what's already there. There's no quick cure. I've heard some people try to rush it. I met a teacher recently who tried to rush it, and it seemed like it was effective, but then he really, as I got closer to him, he really kind of lost his shit, and I think maybe it's better just to go about it naturally. You got to find what works for you, but I think the natural way is quite effective. It's very natural, guys. Like, I had an experience recently where something upset me, and I was just started crying, bawling. My girlfriend was like, "Well, why are you crying? Why are you crying?" And I couldn't get it out immediately, but a couple minutes later, I said, "Well, life is sad. Life is sad. Just let me cry." It's just that, guys. Life is sad. Life is sad. Ugly shit happens. We've been hurt. It's not always fun and games. That is just reality. It's not always love and light. Life is fucking sad, guys. So what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna pretend? No, you make the most of it. Yes, but first you gotta cry about it. It is sad. Okay? If your life's been totally sunshine and roses, then ignore what I'm saying, because you have to be yourself. But my life has been sad. And most people's lives that I know have been sad. And to some degree, not 100% sad, but a lot of bad shit has happened. Cry about it. You don't have to force it, okay? You can't force it. It'll come. As you accept yourself... Okay, hold on. Time to wake up. Hold on, guys. My alarm's going off. Got up a little bit early today. Alright, so you can't force it. As you learn to do less, stop putting more effort into things and just kind of relax on whatever level you can, tears will come. They will come. Don't worry about it. It's natural. The other thing, people have fucking fucked with me. Pardon my language. Some people said they get triggered by that, so I'll try to keep that at a minimum, but people have really had their way with me and pushed me around, so I'm pissed off. It's natural. You have to own that. You can't just say, I forgive. Yes, you accept the fact that they are not responsible for your anger. Does that make sense? Your anger is always yours. Okay? Well, let me put it this way. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Your anger is yours in the present moment. If someone insults you on the street, you're a fucking idiot, and you get angry, the guy calling you a fucking idiot's not to blame. You're to blame. Okay? If you are totally healed from your past stuff, someone calls you a fucking idiot, you say, alright, thanks. Have a nice day. Move on. That's it. Um, or even there's levels of healing, because if someone says, you're a fucking idiot, and you say, okay, thanks, and you move on, inside you're fucking boiling, but at least you didn't react, that's healing. Sometimes you're unable to, sometimes you will react. And that's okay too. Just do your best not to hurt anybody physically and apologize as needed and learn. That's it. But you can't fake not being angry. Um, okay, I lost my train a bit. Okay, so yeah, your anger is your responsibility, especially the anger from the past, but recognize that at some point you do have a reason to be angry. It's not your fault that you were pushed around. So look, your anger in the present is your responsibility. It's not other people's responsibility. But in the past, I mean, yeah, it was kind of fucked up what they did to you. But I guess the point is, you're not better than them. They were not wrong on some look, I'm better than them level. No, everybody's just human. That's the realization. We're just human. We're doing the best we can, and sometimes people make mistakes, and we live in a world where people get pushed around. Where people, it's a dog eat dog world. So yes, the anger's real, but really, there's no one directly responsible. So you do have to forgive on some level and stop blaming that person or that society or that institution for what happened. You do have to do that, but you also have to accept your anger about it. Of course you're pissed off. You need to accept that. That's healing right there, and it's natural. Those are the big ones, pain and anger, and oftentimes they go together. Maybe always, I'm not sure. But you don't need to, that's the thing, I don't need to figure that out. I just find that I have both. And it'll happen naturally. Um, so yeah, there are ways I think you can speed it up, and I think the biggest way to speed it up is to just try exert less effort into things. So don't try to self-improvement, don't try to micromanage your life in your head. Just worry about acceptance, trust, patience, surrender. That can speed things up. Don't be afraid to lose control. We often, like I said, we often plan things out in our head. Okay, this is gonna go this way, this way, this way. When we're really thrust into life, like, that shit kind of goes out the window. That can be scary, but allow it. Allow it. I've allowed that a lot, and I'm better off for it. Of course, I've made mistakes. Some stuff has gone wrong, but nothing totally irreversible. And the mind, this controlling mind, has kind of lost its grip on me. So it's good to lose control. Falling in love. Allow that. Sex. Allow that. This is where something bigger than us comes in. With sex, where our whole body is, can even masturbation. Our whole body is pulsing. And we just kind of lose it, especially in orgasm. So allow that. Be safe about it. Don't go around getting STDs or anything. But sex is fine. Sex is good. Falling in love, the same thing. It's again something bigger than us because there's a sexual element, there's an emotional element, there's a spiritual element. You're connecting as two souls. It's interesting. I enjoy it, but it's healing too. Some people say meditation, you gotta find what works for you, but anything that helps you to accept yourself on a deeper level is gonna be good. But again, personally, I'm not a fan of rushing through things. You imagine you got a boo-boo, you got a wound, you got a cut, a big deep cut on your arm or something. Yeah, you can bandage it, you can clean it, dress it every day. You can take the bandage off and air it out. You can do things. You're not on a battlefield where it's going to get infected. You can take care of it and it will heal better. But it's not going to happen overnight, guys. So I'm personally not a fan of rushing it. I mean, what's the rush anyway? Enjoy it. Enjoy the journey, because in the end there's nowhere to go. And if you're not happy just as you are with your wounds, anger, pain, confusion, you're not going to be happy without it either. So you're going to be bored. That's what I think. So, acceptance. You just have to accept what you are and make peace with it. This is life, guys. It is sad. It is frustrating. It is confusing. It is ugly. It's insecure. It's scary. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to run away from it? Are you going to stick your head in the sand and pretend it's not like that? Are you going to puff out your chest and say, well, not me? Are you going to say, I'm happy? If you're happy, you are. Good. But if you're not, then don't fake it. What are you going to do? Are you going to dance around the issue and ignore it? Are you going to beat around the bush? Or are you just going to say, look, this is what I am? I don't know about you guys, but just being what I am, like, that's joy. Even with the bad stuff. If it were all just sunshine and roses, it'd be all empty. You have to be a little artistic about it. Take your suffering and pain and all the hardship you've had in life and make something beautiful with it. But that's up to you. Life is up to you. Life is what it is, and what do you do with it? People say, like, well, it's easy for you to say, like, I don't want to get political, but you could say, well, you're a white guy who's had a lot of privilege and money, and apart from race, and we don't even have to get into that, but I have had a lot of advantages and opportunities. Economically speaking, at the very least, and but that doesn't mean my life has been easy. My life has not been easy. That's okay to accept that. It doesn't mean my life is worse than anybody else's. In fact, it may have been easier, but who cares? You don't need to say, oh, well, their life was worse than mine. Who cares? Just be compassionate. Just be compassionate. We're all having a hard time. And listen, if someone says, well, look, this has been really hard for me, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. I'm sorry, that must have been really hard. Accept that about them. But accept your experience too. But anyway, I always cite Dr. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. He was a Jewish psychologist in a Nazi concentration camp. He survived. And people, actually, someone recently said, like, well, why do people always cite this guy? Because he's good. And look, when people say, you can't just take something ugly and make it beautiful, not everyone has that luxury. Guys, this guy was in a concentration camp. A fucking concentration camp. And he found a way to make that something not beautiful, but bearable. He says, let me read the quote. Gotta get it. Didn't expect to talk about this. He says, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. I repeat, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. That's it, guys. So life is ugly, but you can make something beautiful out of it. Healing will come. But live now. Live now, because if you're not comfortable with the insecurity and the ugliness and the uncertainty now, I mean, you never will be, because now is all you got. Alright guys, I hope you liked it. Take care. Bye.